Okay, well, that was only 10 minutes this time that I had to wait for my app to load. Hi, everybody. I'm only a minute late. Thank goodness. All right, so this tech is determined to try and defeat me one way or another. Hi, A, Judith, Haywood. Hi, Christine, Anne, Maria, Linda. Hi, Lorene. Hi, Brian, Helen, Karen. Hi, Julianne, Crystal, Bronwyn, May. Hi, John and Sue. Dorota, Katie, Cynthia, Anne. I've got a great group this morning. Hi, everybody. All right, so because we're starting a couple of minutes late, I just want to, first of all, introduce myself. I'm Lynn. I'm the Sydney guide. This is probably my last Sydney tour because I'm moving up to the Blue Mountains in just under 2 weeks. So let's make this one a beauty. And sorry for the technical glitch that prevented me joining 10 minutes early, which is what my plan was. We are meeting today on the lands of the Gadigal people. In fact, it's where the Gadigal and the Wongal lands meet. And I'd just like to acknowledge their elders, past, present, and emerging. All right, let's get started. We are in the grounds of Camperdown Cemetery. Yes, Bonnie, I know. It's very, very frustrating. So the reason I wanted to start here in the cemetery, this beautiful, beautiful cemetery, is because a couple of the characters that we will meet on our street art tour are actually residents of this cemetery. But first of all, let me introduce you to probably one of our most acclaimed residents. His name was Nicholas Boxer. He was a harpist and a composer, and he actually composed and performed for Napoleon. The reason he's buried here in Sydney was that he travelled out to Australia to perform a series of concerts, and unfortunately died of consumption after his first performance. So this is Nicholas Charles Boxer, and unfortunately the actual memorial to him has suffered a bit of damage, but that would have been a harp at the top of his tomb there. Round behind me, I don't want to invade these people's space. We've got doggos here. Good morning. Hi. Doggos having fun in the cemetery. Doggy heaven, that's right. And look at the sunshine on the cemetery here this morning. It's just beautiful, just gorgeous. So it's a 19th century cemetery. It actually was in use as the main cemetery for, go boys, main cemetery for Sydney for about 20 years in the mid-1800s, and sits in the grounds of the St. Stephen's Church here. Let me see if I can get you a great shot of the church. Here we go. Hi, Alicia, Tian, and Alison. Let me see if I can get this spire in at the top. If I walk backwards any further, I'm going to step into a very muddy puddle. There we go. And look at that blue sky, something Sydney hasn't seen as beautiful as this for many weeks. All right, but we're here for street art. So the second resident, I haven't actually succeeded in finding her grave, but the second resident, her name is Emily Donnythorne. And I'll tell you her story when we get closer to the artwork that memorialises her. So Newtown is one of the older suburbs of Sydney. It's located just about 4 kilometres from the city centre. One last shot of the cemetery before we leave. And yes, that's a boat, that one there. And it's a memorial to a shipwreck off the coast of Sydney. There we go, that makes an interesting shot. Okay, we have a great signal. I'm very happy. My Newtown tour so far, I've attempted it twice. First time I had no signal at all. The second time I was rained out after after trying to get on for 20 minutes and almost giving up. So I want everyone to cross their fingers and hope for a great tour this morning. But the one last thing I want to show you before we leave the cemetery is this absolutely amazing Moreton Bay fig tree. And I'm going to move into a position where you can get a great postcard with this little cottage, the original old church building alongside it. But look at those roots. And this just really puts the size of the tree into perspective, doesn't it? Okay, let's hit Newtown. So Newtown was named, as I imagine many towns and villages with the same name were. Sorry about the garbage truck. Because it was the new town. Alison, that was a Moreton Bay fig tree. So we're in Stephen Street, Newtown, which is named obviously for the St Stephen's Anglican Church that we've just left the grounds of. So we're going to walk up here towards King Street. King Street is the main street of Newtown. Newtown is considered a bohemian suburb. It has some great art stores, bookshops, op shops, fantastic eateries. It's where young people congregate. There's music venues and pubs, and it's an all-round active, lively suburb close to the city. So this is our first artwork. And it's by the artist Fintan McGee, who is a local. And we're going to see a few of his pieces here today. But it's depicting supplies being dropped into flood areas, which is kind of really relevant at the moment with what's going on in northern New South Wales and South Queensland. So it's about receiving supplies during disasters. And that's the artist's name, just there in the corner, McGee. Okay. Many of the artworks in Newtown came about through a collaboration. I'm just waiting for these cars to go. The Perfect Match program built property owners with artists to allow for the artworks to be made in places where they were both welcome and suited to the site. So this is the first piece on our Perfect Match program. And this is a piece called The Divine Within by an artist by the name of Alex Lahores. Unfortunately, the tree has grown up on the side of it since it was first done, so some of it's been obscured. I'll see if I can get a little closer so you can actually see. Because it's in shade, that's about the best I can do with that one. Well, they're commissioned in as far as they are approved, as in who pays for the paint. I'm not sure. Look, there's Felix the cat in the background there. I'm not sure the relevance of Felix the cat. And this is a little bit about the Perfect Match program. If you would like to take a postcard of that and zoom in later. Alex Lahores, but it gives his Instagram handle if you're interested as well, and basically describes the subject of the artwork. Long shot, yeah, see what I can do. There's a few cars in the way and some parking signs. Let's see what I can do to get the length of it. I'm trying not to get run over. I'm in a car park. How does that go? I know you've got those cars in the way. You're welcome. Okay, let's move on. So over this side, we have a piece called let me see, what's this one called? Bear with me. Woman with Telephone. That was obvious, wasn't it? Hi, Nicholas. And this is another Fintan McGee. And it's actually a collaboration. So it doesn't actually describe which belongs to who, but my guess would be is that the figures would belong to Fintan McGee. This is the other end of it over here. And there we go. So the collaboration was with an artist that goes by the name of Numbskull. Love their names, huh? Let me show you the top of this building while we're here. So there's some beautiful buildings in Newtown. Here we go. All right, so street art isn't all about painting, of course, and right here we have some lovely mosaic work on the footpath. So I'm just going to go up this end and then walk back. You might be getting a glimpse of it right now. We're going to see a piece that was done in the 70s in a little while. So you can see the condition that it's in now. Things don't seem to be too bad. All right, so along the footpath we have a series of mosaics. I'm not going to be able to get into a great position for you, but we'll see what we can do. Let me just turn around sideways and try not to get wiped out by a car. There we go, there's that one. I'll do this one sideways as well. Here we go. An acknowledgement to the Aboriginal history of the area. And finally, an acknowledgement of the new arrivals of the colonial past with the ship there. Okay. All right, so back into this little car park. It's the first one that we see. Unfortunately, we've got all these garbage bins here, but we'll try and avoid taking photos of those. So this is a series that goes the length of this supermarket building called Women's Honour. There's 4 women depicted. And unfortunately, I don't know who they are, other than they are local identities. But the artist for this one is Brad Robson. So we have 2 here. Step back a little bit, you'll be able to get them. We'll be able to get them both in frame. I'll try not to trip over the guttering. There's those two. And then over here we have two more. And my sense is that these two were done later than the first two. They're pretty gorgeous, those two, aren't they? All right, so now the second occupant of the Camperdown Cemetery that I wanted to talk to you about, her name is Emily Donnythorne. And she was a local resident in the 1800s who was left at the altar when she was about 26. She spent the rest of her life with the door of her home permanently open, the table set for the feast, and in perpetual mourning and anticipation that her betrothed would return. This is it here, and it's called Promise. The artist's name is Ox King. Oh, there's a bit of glare there from the sun. Let's get rid of that. Okay, that's better. So as we move along this one, we're going to see some references to Charles Dickens. Let me just try and screen. I'm going to have to get closer to get the sun out of the way. I was thinking how wonderful it was that there weren't cars parked here and then the sun. Can't win, can you? So we move along the length of this mural. Right at the very end, we discover, just over the side of this car here, there always has to be one. And always has to be a garbage bin. Charles Dickens books. So apparently Charles Dickens was inspired by the story of Emily Donnythorne and based his character from Great Expectations, Miss Havisham, on the real life story of Emily Donnythorne. And that's the best I can do in terms of the length of it. Okay. It's a very sad story. So moving along from here, we're going to cross the road and check out a fairly recent installation. This is a sculpture, and it was done as part of the Wayfinder project by the Inner West Council. There are 5 in total, 1 in each locality of the council area. And basically it's another acknowledgement of country, acknowledgement to the traditional owners of this land. And we're just walking outside the wall of the cemetery, so we'll be able to get another shot of the St. Stephen's Church from this point, just here over the wall. I can hear lots of lorikeets, rainbow lorikeets in the trees above me. So this is the marker for the Wayfinder project, and it represents past, present and future. Or in the language of the Gadigal, it's Goragul, Yagu, Barabugu. I can never say that. And the artist's name is Jasmine Sarin. I'm not going to step under the grass here because it's more swamp than grass. We're still recovering from the rain. but I will show you the information plaque in case you would like more detail on the wayfinding project. I don't know if that's close enough for you. Can you work with that? Okay. And what I will do is just come around this side and then do a vertical shot for you. Get that right balance between being able to see this end piece and not being blinded by the sun. Hold on. Okay. There we go. I'm going back now. Okay, so that's the wayfinding project piece. As you'll appreciate, as I keep going backwards and forwards and around about, and if you look at the map from time to time, we do a bit of a zigzag through Newtown. They literally pop up on every corner and in every little laneway, and I'm trying to maximise the route for you as much as I can. So this building here it's like a homeware store, a little warehouse. They sell plants and home decor. They also say that they're a hair salon and a cafe, and they sell art. But what I'm interested in is what's on their wall. Just cross the road here. Unfortunately, there's no artist name that I can determine on this particular one, but it has some fabulous, absolutely fabulous Aboriginal depictions of our native animals. So we've got emus and kangaroos, goannas and platypus, koalas and dolphins. There's a pelican up there. There's two pelicans up there. And we've got an echidna down the bottom. And another goanna. Really, really wonderful detail. Now, I will try and get the length of this one at an angle. There's a truck behind me. A lot of the artwork in Newtown is tagged, unfortunately, and it is sad. It is sad to see. But it's still beautiful nonetheless. Let's get close to these koalas. Here we go. Look at those two little cuties. All right, if we turn around and look across the road, this is another piece for the Perfect Match program. And the artist's name is Kyle Hughes Odgers. And welcome to whoever that is who's just joined. You're going to help me out. Going to have to help me out with your name. I apologise. I love the way we've got the shadow of the building I'm standing next to on this one as well. Creates an interesting sort of illusion, doesn't it? So this one is called, where are we? Natural Always Within. And even the information panel's been tagged. All right, let's cross the road again. Keep zigzagging through the back streets of Newtown. So, thumbs up if anyone was with me the other day when it was absolutely tipping down rain. That was interesting. That was ridiculous. It's a much better day today. I'm so happy. So, of course, Those of you who were with me, we've already seen some of these pieces, but it's lovely to see. Oh, Arlene, it was amazing. I got to about this point here, where I am now, and started to sprinkle. Just a few drops here and there. 10 minutes later, it was like I was standing underneath a waterfall. I had an amazing review from one of my colleagues who is also features street art in her hometown of Buenos Aires. So if you can catch Grace's tours, I believe she has one this Friday in a time slot that suits me. Most of hers seem to be overnight for me. I just can't do that anymore. All right, so over here we have two pieces side by side. I'm sure there must be a title for this type of street art. I just don't know what it is. It's where it's like a tag, but it's just a beautiful artistic tag. And of course, it's been tagged over as well. And it may even have been over top of some other piece because there seems to be something above it. Oh, Nicholas, her times just don't work for me. I've been really trying to catch her tours, and I just haven't managed it. All right, so the one next to it is called Weird Sisters. The artist is Ox King. He's the same artist that did Promise, the one with Emily Donithorne, who was left at the altar. So it depicts three women, and his description states that he wanted to capture people just going about life in the park here, but it was also inspired by the three witches in Macbeth. So we have a woman eating fruit. I guess she's having a picnic. A woman enjoying nature with the butterfly there, and a woman with her dog. But he looks a bit mean, that dog, doesn't he? See if I can stand back and get this all in one frame for you. So I will also go over close to it and capture the information plaque as well. I love the colour in it. The colours are just beautiful. Oh, it's 3 days without rain and this ground is soggy as anything. There we go. So for anyone who's interested in the artist, his Instagram handle, and a description of the work itself. Okay, moving on. The building at the end here, I'm not 100% certain, but I think it is the studio for one of our lifestyle television shows. So this one is absolutely gorgeous. I know nothing about it. It's been heavily tagged, and we think it is a studio. But again, as I say, I'm not 100% sure. I just know that I've seen this building in their promos. All right, we're going to go down this laneway now. I've got a feeling that I'm running low on time. I've allowed an hour for this. Okay, I'm going to cross the road behind this truck. And here we have another one of those, help me out, what do you call it? Enhanced tags? It looks like there's more happening. This looks like a sketch or an outline of something above it. So it looks like a beetle and a frog. are about to happen. Someone's using a leaf blower in the beer garden of the pub behind me, making it very noisy. And unfortunately, this one's being blocked by a car. But next to it, we have the Heart Research Institute. And it's rather cool that even the institutions get to have their own artwork. And that's the signature. We have two hands. In between is the heart. I love that. All right. Again, we're going to head down towards King Street. So another leg on my dogleg zigzag route. Up here we are walking at the back of the Newtown courthouse. So this is the old courthouse up here. What I'm interested in is what's tucked into the lane just beyond this building here. And it's a tribute to a missing person. It's a really sad story. Oh, thanks, Jennifer. Oh, no, there's a truck in the way. Let's see how we go. Okay, so this is a tribute to Carl Mello Richards. Can I wait? All right, tell you what I'll do. I'll go and have a look at the next one first. We'll come back because we come back this way anyway. It looks like the lady here wants him to move as well. So it's a bit of competition for that spot right now. We'll come back. That's a rather odd one. I know nothing about it. That's the back wall of a pub. And I have a feeling my daughter actually may have been to a nightclub in here the other night, seeing some jazz. There's a couple of doorways there. So we'll go around onto King Street. And this is the oldest piece in Newtown. It's actually heritage listed. Yeah, you're not wrong, Bronwyn. We took the train. So as you can see, it's pretty noisy here. What have we got? It's about 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning. So these people are going about their business day. Just up ahead here, there's a very tiny little square, if you like. Bit of open space in between the buildings. They often have market stalls set up in here. The first one here is I'm puffed. I shouldn't be puffed. Okay, so the first one here is Captain Earwax is the artist, and it's just an abstract portrait. But the one I'm particularly interested in is this one here, which, as I said, is heritage listed. It was painted in 1991. Okay, now the light is causing a little bit of an issue for contrast. But here we have Martin Luther King. Oh, Nicholas, don't even joke about that in Newtown. Property developers would love to get their hands onto property around here. Okay, now I'm going to step back a little bit and try and do a vertical shot. Hold on just a second. Boy, it's noisy. All right, 1, 2, 3. Not ideal. We still can't get the whole thing in, but you get an idea of it. That tree makes it awkward, doesn't it? Okay, back to normal. Okay, now Alex, is that my friend Alex that just joined? If it is, I thought you were meant to be on a cruise somewhere this morning. Is that right? All right. So next to I Have a Dream, we have the Dreaming. So this was painted about 10 years later. And let me see, 2014, this was painted. And the artist's name is Black Douglas. That's Blak. Okay, let's head back up and away off King Street, away from the noise. I tell you what, when I move, this is going to be such a contrast. Won't have any of this anymore. Literally moving into the bush. I'll have to do a welcome tour. Welcome to the Blue Mountains when I get up there. The Blue Mountains is a string of villages that literally follows a ridge line. Mountains aren't like Alps. The mountains are just, the highest town is only 1,000 meters. So they're not really very high. We don't have high mountains in Australia. But it's just a string of villages. And in amongst them, there's a couple of more touristy towns. But there's lots of waterfalls, bushland. It's great to go for walks in amongst the gum trees. This is really sad that they put this sign up on front of that lovely lady's face. I'm just trying to see if anything's coming. Nope, we're good. Bonnie, that is the question. Will I have signal? And the answer is I just don't know. At this point in time, I may have to video some of my tours and do at-home tours. I'm going to have to do a lot of signal testing. All right, looks like we can get back into this laneway now. It's a different car parked here, but we get to see the tribute piece that I was trying to show you before. Let me do a vertical shot. You might be able to see it all in one go. 1 second. So the tribute is to Carl Mello Richards. It says, born on the 14th of May 1991, classically handsome with a square jaw and dark features, a son, a brother, a boyfriend, a surfer, a craftsman, a carpenter, a missing person. Carl left his Maroubra home without his wallet and keys. His family have not seen him since the 2nd of September 2016. And unfortunately, we can't get to the rest of it, but I can let's go back to horizontal so you can get the whole thing in. And sadly, it's been tagged as well, but it depicts open doors, and it's a message from his mum that says that the doors will always be open to him. So it's very sad. Very sad. No one knows what's happened to him. Yeah, it is sad. Okay, so this one's on the back of the fire station, the Newtown fire station. Let's get just past this car. Here we go. And then on the other side of the gates, unfortunately, again with garbage bins in the way, we see I just want to push those garbage bins out of the way so I can see his face. And here we have the back of a cafe. And then up ahead on the back wall of the Courthouse Hotel, another example of how Australians love to abbreviate everything. The Courthouse Hotel, affectionately known as the Courty. This piece is called Going Nowhere. And it's a two-part. It's broken into two pieces. There's one on the back wall, and there's one on the front wall, which I'll show you in a moment. And on the left-hand side here, you can see the New South Wales state flower, the Waratah, along with the Australian national flower, which is the wattle. And we have a tent and a guitar, and these guys just sort of hanging out, watching the surf. And on the far right-hand side, we've got some flowering gum, that red one over there. This is Sydney. Alex? And the beer garden, the back gate of the Courty Hotel. So I've somehow managed to spend too long somewhere, and I may not get to see everything that I wanted to see this morning. So I'm just trying to figure out where to trim, get off the road before I get run over. I think there's Newtowns everywhere. So these are all the posters, just advertising things like promotions that are happening in the pub, dog friendly. And this is the front half of Going Nowhere. It's going to be tricky because I've got a car right behind me. Let's see what I can do. So Going Nowhere. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that, Nicholas. Do you know it? Do you know it? Okay. And did I mention the artist's name? Scotty W. Alrighty. We're going to cross the road here. We get into some really small lanes. Don't know it. I'll just pause quickly on each of these because I don't know the artist. There's cars in the way. There we go. And I did promise to go down this laneway, so we'll just have a quick glance down the laneway, but I don't think we'll go all the way. I'm running short on time. This is it's almost like it's where the young guys practice or something. I'm not sure, but we've got a real mishmash of ability, I guess. I like this one though. This one appears to use mainly stencils, and we've got everything from Tintin to Audrey Hepburn. And on the other side of the garage door, we've got similar use of stencils. Okay, let's go back up here because there's some really amazing pieces just around the corner up ahead. And in Australia, it's the time when these beautiful trees are in bloom. They're called Tibucina. Really vibrant purple, really lovely. Okay, go back this way. When I lived in England, you guys chatting about Wales, we had a weekend in Abergavenny. Went to the pub there. Lots of people singing, as they do in Wales, we discovered. And the traffic was so bad going back to London that we ended up sleeping in the car outside the pub in Abergavenny. It was an interesting, memorable weekend. All right, so this one here with the fox. This is really cool. It's this guy. He's just sort of sitting back, relaxing, looking very chill. He's got his like swag over his shoulder, holding a cuckoo clock. And then when we move along, we see, he's obviously realised the time. It says late again. It's very reminiscent of things like, Roadrunner and Coyote sort of cartoons, isn't it? And the artist name for this one is Dina. Okay, so let's go back up here and around the corner. What time is it? I've been going 51 minutes and I think I allowed an hour. So we may go 5 or 10 minutes over if anyone's willing to stick with me. Okay, as you can see, there's quite a big piece on this side that I'm walking alongside. I'll need to cross the road to show it to you. But first of all, here's another piece from the Perfect Match initiative. And it's called Making All Things New. The artist name for this one is Sid Tapia. And I actually saw, because I follow him on Instagram, I saw an art piece that he's just finished in a cafe in Dee Why on the Northern Beaches this morning, which is absolutely beautiful. That's an indoor one. It's not on an outside wall. And there's the information for this one. And it continues around the corner. And we were actually here in Newtown when this one was being painted. It's very cute. All right, so let's have a look back over here. So again, you can actually see, the layout of the houses. So they have this sort of big front, and then go down, and it's all your rooms along there. 4 rooms along that wall. They occupy the full size of the land. Unfortunately, this one's got the contrast with the sun and shade in it today, which is a bit of a shame because it's so beautiful. But maybe we can get it so that it exposes just for the parts that are in shade. There we go. All right. Just trying to decide which way to go now. I was going to go... Yeah, I am going to abbreviate the tour. We're not going to see everything that I had planned to see. This is the side of the school, side wall of the school in here. So some of the artwork on the outside has been done by the students. There we go. Lots of happy faces. Lots of happy faces on the outside wall of the school. Okay, so we'll go along this lane here. Let's get out of the way of this car. This is the one I wanted to show you all. This is the one that features in the banner picture for the tour. Some of our beautiful native birds. So we start with the galah at this end. Yeah, I think it should be obligatory. No parking in Newtown in front of street art. So that's the galah. Over here we have the sulphur-crested cockatoo. And again, I don't know the artist. It should be compulsory that street artists sign all their paintings as well. That should be another edict, I think. The colours in this one are beautiful. Now, my favourite is this superb fairy wren, and it's got this annoying car in front of it. Let's see if I can get most of it in the picture. Okay. Gorgeous birds. Okay. So I think what we'll do at this point is go around and meet the Prime Minister. Some of you may be familiar with one of our former Prime Ministers, Bob Hawke, and he was involved with the pub that we're walking towards right now. That's the plan, Anne. Yes, I'm planning on doing tours in the Blue Mountains, but I'm going to have to do a lot of research, scoping and testing because I don't know what the signal's going to be like. We have street art in Katoomba. I'm saying we have because I actually own a house up there and it was our family home. I lived up there for 20 years. We're returning to the family home. And it's in a suburb called Lawson. And up the hill from Lawson is Katoomba. In Katoomba there is some street art, so I'll be able to show you that. And there's also obviously all the beautiful bushwalks, which I'm hoping to be able to show you. So this is the Carlisle Castle Hotel, and they created a beer called Hawkey's Brew, which Bob Hawke had a hand in. So they sell it here, they brew it here. And when I get around the other side, I'll show you that there's actually a big tribute to Bob Hawke on the other side of the building. This says Coopers, this is how we roll. And there depicts a can of Coopers on a roller coaster. And then round on the back wall here, sorry, my knee's giving me a lot of pain at the moment, so I'm struggling a little bit. I do apologise. There's something odd on top of that wall. Looks like a tricycle. So I want to know, is that a self-portrait? We've got the spray can over there. Would be interesting to find out, wouldn't it? Has this artist actually depicted himself? All right, let's go and see Hawkey. For anyone who was on my Chippendales street art tour yesterday, this final mural that I'm about to show you was painted by Scotty Marsh. And Scotty Marsh is the one who paints the bin chickens and also painted the Alan Jones mural. He's been entered into the Archibald Prize, the Prize for Portraiture, a number of times and been a finalist, I think, twice. So up here on this wall behind me, I need to find a good spot so you can see it properly. There we go. That's our former Prime Minister. What a classic. Scotty Marsh said that he depicted him doing what he loved doing most, enjoying a beer, a crossword, and dressed ready for a swim. And the mural was officially opened by our political opposition leader, who's also the member for this area. And with an election coming up soon, that's him in that poster just there. So potentially our next Prime Minister. So there we go. That's there's Hawkeye. All right. At this point, I've gone over time. My knee slowed me down. I'm sorry about that. I probably talked too much. There was a lot of traffic that slowed me down as well. Let me just turn around and say goodbye. Well, there's another one up here. We've got to see this one. Got to see this one. This is very relevant to Newtown and the Indigenous struggle. And basically the message is that this is Aboriginal land, always was and always will be. So that's the message there on top of this one. All right. Let's turn the camera around. So I hope you enjoyed my tour, my street art tour of Newtown. And yeah, Jeannie, I've had this conversation with my son, and asking him, street art, did it start out as graffiti? Was it rebelliousness against authority and privilege? And now what we love as street art, has that become mainstream and graffitiists are rebelling against that? That's my question too. Let me just move out of this lady's way. Yes, I think it's a bit of a battle, isn't it? It's a bit of a struggle. All right, I've loved having you. Here, join me in Newtown. We're going to go grab a coffee. If you've enjoyed my tour, I'd be grateful if you think that you'd love to shout me one. And hopefully I'll see you all in the Blue Mountains. If I get an opportunity, if I get organised and get my house packed up efficiently, I may run a farewell tour before I leave Sydney. But otherwise, I'll see you all in the mountains in a few weeks' time. Thank you so much. Bye for now, everybody. Thank you, Sue. Thanks, Bronwyn. Thanks, guys. See you on another tour.